Get him to come in any minute.
Retired, I got all
Ready? Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of
America,
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You know, I wonder if
About to
we
have
could
birth
say
allegiance.
those who are not here.
Hey, Russ is behind, is that in behind us?
Microphones.
Okay, please call the roll.
Director Underhill,
Here,
Director Ratterman,
here,
Director Cicada,
Here.
Director Thomas,
I am here finally.
and President Davidson.
Here. Okay, the second item on the agenda is public comment. At this time, the members of the public may address the board on any non-agendized item. The public is encouraged to work through staff to place items on the agenda for board consideration. No action can be taken on matters not listed on the agenda. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per person. We have public comment today.
Hi, good afternoon. Ralph Copeland, Copperopolis. I'd first like to apologize for the last meeting busting in on the agenda item after you discussed this particular item. I had a brain fart when I was working with my mute. So I was yelling at my phone, hello, hello, I'm here. And then anyway, heard what happened. I realize I'm commenting on the proposal to review the property for sale in Copperopolis outside the treatment plant. And I just wanted to bring to the board's attention a couple things. I understand, and I'm a property rights guy, and you have every right to do with what you want or feel you need to do with your properties. I just wanted to make a observation that the property that you are talking about, the 92 acres, is very valuable. And I want to make sure that you're all aware by when I had emailed you this presentation, the map, that developers would be very interested in this parcel. Along with the proposed and also, if possibly, and I talked to Michael, dedicate that money to Copperopolis. Dedicate it to water improvements, dedicate it to the future CIP improvements. I don't know if we can do that. I don't know if that's a proper thing, but eventually I'd like to see that money stay within Copperopolis. I don't know if Russ can do something about that or work with the board and the district. The other thing is, of course, on your 5-year CIP, you have a priority on a 20-inch, 2-mile transmission pipeline that would benefit the Tuscany Hills and Copper Valley development. And you have that ahead of other retrofitting and upgrades in Copperopolis. And I had discussed this with you before of flipping that around and putting the necessary upgrades and retrofitting, and then putting this transmission main on the back burner. So with that being said, again, my concern with this sale is that it's extremely valuable property. Get top dollar for it, reinvest that money into Copperopolis, make sure that developers are aware of the cost of the 20-inch transmission main. And we also still have a sewer force main lift station replacement that is yet to begin in Copperopolis. So we got a lot on the drawing board, and looking forward to seeing CCWD trucks, aside from the treatment plant, running around our little town. And also I'd like to find out maybe a status on the sewer force main. Again, that's all I got to say.
Okay, thank you very much.
May I ask Michael a question for regarding that real quick?
A little bit.
So I'm just wondering if he mentioned that if subdivision went there, they'd want to connect to that force main that's already there. That would require connection fees, right? It wouldn't be like if somebody bought the property, we wouldn't say you could connect.
Yeah, we're not going to get into the details of a property sale when all we've contemplated so far is surplusing a piece of property.
Right.
So that's all that's been proposed is to surplus property, offer it to the public. And
Right.
if the public doesn't accept it, then we'll have this discussion.
Right.
So that's all we can really explain today.
Right, and I.
There's
appreciate that.
nothing is for sale today.
Oh, no, I get that 100%,
Okay.
Director Davidson.
All right. We'll have that discussion later if it occurs.
Very good.
All right. Thank you. Good to see you. Oh, yeah. Okay, the consent agenda, following items are expected to be routine, non-controversial. Items will be acted upon the board at one time without discussion. Any board member may request that an item be removed for later discussion. 3A, approval of minutes for the board meeting in March 10th.
Move for approval.
Second,
Motion is second.
Second,
Please call the roll.
Director Underhill,
yes.
Director Thomas,
Yes.
Director Ratterman,
Yes.
Director Cicada,
yes,
President Davidson.
Yes. Okay, we'll move on to reports, general manager report.
All right, obviously a very short open session meeting today. Shorter, I thought there might even be a question or two on consent, but here we go. So just a couple of quick updates. I think everybody's probably heard by now, but CAO Al Alt has resigned, and so we wish him the best. It's a pleasure to work with him, and hopefully he'll stay in touch. But just wanted to make that announcement. I want to just acknowledge the admin services staff this week because the Tyler software implementation is really ramping up. And they are not just the customer service representatives, but many members of the admin services staff, including Rebecca and Jessica, are going to be, in addition to the heavy workload they already have, I think at least 20 hours of training each over the next 2 weeks. And they have to stick to a very tight schedule to get it all done in order for Tyler to move to the next phase of implementation. So just a lot of really good work happening there, and extra training obligations at the same time. So really just wanted to acknowledge them and appreciate that extra effort. At the same time, the Mueller meter implementation is moving forward as well, and the AMI infrastructure is the first component of that, and we don't expect meters to actually be swapped out until June or July probably. But once they get going, it's going to be a pretty fast clip, and they want to be done this year. So that in those two things, those two projects, there's a lot of interplay between the two. So the sequencing of it and making sure they're talking to each other, the systems are talking to each other is critical. So a lot of work happening on those fronts. Meetings with the Groundwater Sustainability Agency continue. We're scheduled to have another one on Friday, but we've had some staff level discussions as well. And I think getting some more participation and collaboration with the county has been, there's positive developments on those fronts. And so I would anticipate probably within the next few months, I would think we'll see something coming to the full board in terms of either a revised and updated MOU among the GSA members, and potentially a financing plan or budget as well. So looking forward for more to come on that. And lastly, I think I mentioned this a while back, but our CPPA rates are going to be going up significantly, which is a big hit for all public agencies. The PG&E made a rate filing to FERC to increase the distribution charge component of that rate. And it's gonna go up, pretty significantly, and it may be, I believe the number I saw from Rebecca, and I hope it's not with the way it ends up, somewhere in the neighborhood of $300,000 next year for CCWD, which is a big hit.
Did they give you a percentage increase by any chance?
It's actually not a percentage increase. They're changing the way that they bill it. And they're increasing that component of the bill. So I can't remember exactly what the numbers are, but it's something along the lines of, if the per kilowatt charge for distribution right now is 5 cents per kilowatt, it's gonna go up to 8 cents or something like that, which is a, significant increase.
What's the reason?
That's the main cost. No, the
What?
PG&E rate filing to increase that portion of their,
PG&E.
yeah, to increase that rate, that portion of their charge. And it's still we're part of a group that is opposing it. But I think the likelihood is it will go into effect prior to the next fiscal year, even while those challenges are still being played out.
So basically, our ratepayers will be helping pay for the fire damage.
Yeah, I mean, I think the main justification for them doing that is the high liability that they've faced lately, so. That's tied to their distribution system. There's just an announcement yesterday that one of the costliest fires last year was a tree falling on a PG&E distribution circuit.
You might want to talk into your mic a little bit more. just
Sorry,
for other
hopefully
people.
everybody can hear me. So there'll be more details to come on that as it gets closer and we can refine the numbers and the impacts. But I think every public agency in the county has got to adjust for that and is bracing for that. So there's going to be a significant increased cost on that front, though, which interestingly, creates some more interest. In the past, the district over the years has from time to time investigated whether or not it would make sense to co-locate solar next to some of our facilities or some of those other potential energy generation projects that other districts have implemented. And for us, for the most part, those projects don't pencil the way they do for other agencies because of the favorable CPPA rate. But as that rate increases, we'll need to look at those projects again and see if there's ways that we can save costs on electricity going forward. We're CPPA's largest customer, and it's a big hit to the district. So good thing I was rambling on, give you some time to run.
May I comment, please?
I'm sorry, Director Underhill, did you have a comment?
Yes, yes, for so many years, because CPPA was able to give us such a reduced rate, we didn't search around. We didn't go look for other costs, for other prices. So this gives us an incentive to go and search, right?
Well, I don't think there's anything that could compete with CPPA, but it does give us incentive to look for other potential, like I said, potentially co-locating solar for some of our facilities, and generating behind the meter, meeting some of our own load behind the meter. Those projects that have been evaluated in the past and that weren't favorable, now the math is going to change on those. And so I think we will be reconsidering that.
Okay, well, that's,
What-
as long as we have that on our plate, yeah.
Yes.
Rebecca, you had a comment?
So the impact to this next fiscal year's budget is an increase of $340,000. But the other issue is the reason it's only $340,000 is because they had used some rate stabilization funds to offset that. So I don't anticipate them being able to use the rate stabilization money to the extent that they did this time. So it will go up substantially beyond the 21-22 fiscal year.
Yeah, that's a great
Just-
point. We did vote to use some of the rate stabilization reserve to offset what otherwise would have been a higher cost increase.
And just wait till we get all electric vehicles.
Right. So there's going to be more to come on this as we learn more about the details. So we'll probably in the near future agendize an item to get into the details of it. But
Well, it also, when the opportunity arises, if it does, with these trillion-dollar infrastructure bills, we might want to put me on top of this and just, if there are opportunities for us to switch over, because it's a clear trend. I mean, California is not going to do anything to, improve the power grid. That's going to work for us. So, we can maybe seek some federal funding to offset some of these costs and then make it actually worthwhile to us, because we don't get a tax credit for putting in solar. We don't get any of the benefits of,
but there are ways to structure that where it's a private entity that is, because the tax credits have been extended for those types of projects, which is a big deal for investors, not necessarily for public agencies. But there's ways to structure those deals to, so if we have the property and we have the load, a private entities essentially just leases the land from us, and they are able to benefit from the tax credits and the other incentives that are there. So there's definitely some creative ways to structure these things that may now pencil for the district where they didn't before.
Yeah, we may want to agendize this item before we get into this much detail.
Yeah, I think we'll be bringing it back.
Yeah.
But thank you, Rebecca, for that
Thank you.
clarification. Other than that, we are, I know, engineering and operations have been incredibly busy, both just keeping things going and planning projects for next year. We yeah, I think that's it for my update for now, though.
Okay, great.
I have a question, Michael.
Yes.
I stopped by a new project, a residential project in Coparopolis last night, and I know that this is the one that Vic Manuele had talked to us about, the new connection. And I was surprised to hear him say that the meter that they put in was one of the new Mueller meters. So I guess that even though they haven't started the orchestrated throughout the area switch out, that anytime that a new meter is requested, they do put the
Yeah,
video reading.
so we don't have to go, if it's a new one or a replacement at this point, yeah, that's happening right.
So I guess follow-up question is, do we have the capability of reading that meter now?
Not yet, not remotely.
Okay, so it does have dials on the top of it, so you can read.
Yeah, and actually, I think for the most part, the answer is no. We do have a pilot set of meters that we installed down in we put in to make sure that the system works, that we now we do have the ability to remotely access those meters through Mueller software, not through not through Springbrook or our finance software. So it's not linked to our billing system yet, but we do have remote access to those meters. And Damon, hopefully I'm correct on all of that, but correct me if I'm not, please.
Yeah, you are correct. So the meters, the AMI meters do have outs on the top, so they can be read. And the thought is any meter replaced now will stay in the ground if the project happens, and then it will just be integrated into the AMI network when that is brought up to speed once all the other meters.
Okay. Yeah, so I think that's
All right.
that is moving forward quickly though, and the meters that we do have access to, everything is performing, I think, as we had hoped. So we still have a lot of work to do as far as integrating that into the billing system, and that's a really critical component of both of these projects. But for now, that pilot project is providing us with some useful information.
You started off by talking about Al Alt's departure. In previous situations where they've gone away from the permanent to interim, the interim period, it can be quite long. Have you talked to the interim Yeah.
No, that's a great point. I have not talked to the interim yet, and I don't believe I've ever even met her. So we did have a meeting with other county staff this morning, but I will reach out and see if we can connect with her.
Good idea.
Yeah, thank you.
Are you, that concludes your report or?
Yes,
Was it yes?
yes.
Okay. Okay, we'll move on to board reports, information items, future agenda. Director Underhill?
Yes, I was going to ask, I see a couple of the force out digging holes doing the meters up here at all? Michael?
No, we haven't started meter installation on the pass yet. So you saw our staff digging holes, is that what you said?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I don't know. Damon, do you have any thoughts on that, or are they just working out the backhoes?
Well, there's a lot of different work that's going on up in the past, but nothing that's related to meter installations. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
just
Bruce?
normal, yeah. No, I don't have any other thing.
Okay, thank
Oh,
you.
yes, I do. I will be going in for knee surgery tomorrow. So
Oh, good
you'll,
luck.
yeah,
Luck.
so I'll be doing whatever via my laptop for a couple months.
Okay, well, best wishes. All right,
Mhm.
Director Rademan.
Okay, first of all, good luck to you, Bertha, on that surgery. That sounds like a exciting thing to be going on. The Mountain Counties Water Resource Association, we have a meeting this coming Friday. And John Kingsbury has retired. And so Jim Branham has taken over. And so this will be our first meeting under his guidance. And one of the things that I think he's going to be here for about 6 months. And one of his biggest jobs is to assist us with hiring he's the interim executive director. So we'll be searching for a new permanent executive director, and that, again, our meetings and discussions will start this Friday. That's all I have.
Okay, Director Thomas?
I just wanted to ask Scott, it looks kind of remarkable to me that you put the pictures up on your wall there at the golf course to look like you're at home.
It's just a canned background that I got. I really got my 3-iron in my hand.
It's a green screen.
Just a picture.
Yeah.
Okay. We'd like to see you here sometime.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I got to go. It's my turn to hit. Go see it.
Okay. I'm really surprised that PG&E is raising their rates so high. I thought that the fees that I've paid them would have kind of, softened the blow for us. Anyway, I need to report to you that I was late for various reasons today, but they're cutting down a massive amount of trees on Pool Station Road. Have you seen that? They look like that they're going to widen Pool Station Road just massively. But anyway, just
Aren't you the only person that drives on Pool Station Road?
yeah, I am. Well, there were 6 cars stopped in the traffic control in front of me, so no, I'm not.
They were probably leaving work from cutting the trees down.
No, it was before I got to the trees. But the other thing that I wanted to maybe bring up here is that I saw a building inspector yesterday, and Jeff, you've seen this building inspector recently, and he was telling me that you were telling him a story that stone building out on Hogan Dam Road that is from the 1860s. You told him that I built it.
Yeah.
I think that's some form of elder abuse.
File a complaint.
Anyway, I got a kick out of that, so, but I didn't really, I was there, I put the gutters on it, but I didn't do the foundation.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway, that's all I have for today.
Okay. Sorry, Director Skidda.
Yes, last week, the TSTAN IRWN held their JPA meeting. So during that meeting, it was usual business. However, we did approve the work plan for 21-22. And we also approved the budget, and membership dues stayed the same. So I imagine Brad reported that for you for budget purposes, but the memberships will stay the same for this year. That's it.
All right, great. I have nothing to report. Our next board meeting is April 14th, 2021 at 1 PM. We are going to adjourn into closed session for Government Code 54957-.6, agency negotiations, General Manager Michael Minkler, HR Manager Stacy Lawler, and Michael Jarvis regarding negotiations with employee organization SEIU 1021 and Management Confidential Unit. Is there any public comment on closed session? Okay, then we will take a quick break and we will reconvene in closed session.